Hi, Paul. How are you?
Yeah, we
Are
all
you
good,
Paul?
great. Yeah, I'm
Who's
Paul. This is John. Paul's got the hat on. John has the waistcoat.
Okay, well, Thelma has the hat on.
Thelma, I
I
love
need to
that.
go and get
I
a hat
love
now, I
that
think.
hat. I love that
You need
hat.
to go get your hat. You need to go get your hat and get in
I
the
know.
get with it.
Thelma, I'm so jealous. I want that hat. That is phenomenal.
Thank you.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
I'm a hat girl.
I'm a hat guy.
You're looking well, Thelma. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, all good. Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing good. What an absolute pleasure it is to have you on the show, Thelma. Thanks for taking time out to have a chat with us.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad to be here. Glad that you invited me.
Yeah.
Or did we invite you? How did it work out? How did we do this?
I've been chasing up your manager for a couple of months now, trying to get you on desperately.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We've been desperate to get you on the show.
Well, I've been in this house and here since March of this year.
It's been a crazy year, hasn't it?
God.
Oh my God, it's been terrible.
Yeah, Thelma, we started this show at the start of the year just to bring people together, spread a bit of positivity, just try and support musicians and singers. And I must say, to get to this point in December, you're like a ray of sunshine on our show. You're a ray of sunshine on our rainy Scottish night. I'll say that, Thelma. You're bringing good vibes to the show.
Oh, I'm bringing a ray of sunshine to you. Oh, good.
Yeah, we dressed up specially for you as well, Thelma. We've got the suits and waistcoats on for you here.
We've been watching the virtual stream. Me and my girlfriend, my beautiful girlfriend, had it on one night, and we were up dancing about, singing, having a great time.
Oh, good. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. Really, really like it.
Yeah, it looked like you were really enjoying yourself as well.
Huh?
It looked like you were really enjoying it too.
Well, I was, because you know what? It was a one moment. All of my dates by that point had been all canceled. Mm-hmm. And so that was my way of being able to perform, even though it was very difficult for me because I'm accustomed to working off an audience, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So there was no audience. So I had to make the camera like, woo, all right, all you guys out there, you know. But you know, this it's been terrible, and it is terrible because we haven't, you know, the vaccinations are right around the corner. I understand over in England they started, you know, already today with giving injections, and so that's we can finally see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. But for all of this darkness and all of this stuff, what surprised me about myself was how very much, I mean, I always knew that I loved performing, but I didn't know how much, to the degree that I depended on that. I'm not just, and we're not just talking about the financial, which of course you need it for your, you know, to pay your bills and stuff. But I mean, for just that emotional, whatever's going on inside of me, that was such a way for me to release. And I haven't had that. And it's been so devastating not to be able to do that. And so it has really made me realize how grateful I am to be able to do something that I love with that much passion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and unfortunately, it took something like, I mean, to make it realize to the degree that you know what I mean. You always feel like, oh, this is what I like. This is my passion, you know. But it really is. It's my life. I mean,
that passion definitely comes across when you're performing. You make it look so easy, Thelma.
Oh, do I? It's because I'm telling you, I'm having such a good time doing it. Really.
I think the positivity shines through as well, Thelma. That positivity shines through, that you were singing to us. It felt like you were singing through the camera to us, and it really came across. And the support for the healthcare workers as well, and things like that in the video. Well, my girlfriend's actually a nurse.
Oh, really? Good for her. Oh, good for her.
You really appreciated that little nod to the healthcare workers.
Well, you know, tell your girlfriend, before I went into singing, I've always wanted to be a singer since I was yay high. But before I kind of found my way into making that my life's work, my first job I worked in a hospital at Harbor General Hospital as a nurse's, at that time they call them nurse's assistant.
All right.
An attendant, nurse's attendant.
Yep.
And that was my very first job. And I enjoyed it so much that I think that had I not gone into singing, I think that something in the medical, something like nursing or something in the medical field is what I would want to do.
Yeah. Something positive.
Yeah.
Positive and
Were you singing to the patients as well, Thelma?
Do I have what?
Were you singing to the patients as well?
I wasn't going to tell you that part, but when it came around time for when you get your evaluation, I think I had been there like maybe 6 months, 7 months, and the nurse was giving my evaluation, and she says, "Well, Thelma, everyone loves you." That's the way it started off. And especially the patients. Oh, you bring them, you just make them so happy, and they just and you fix their hair and you put on their makeup. But the thing is, Thelma, you just don't get around to cleaning up all the areas. Oh, yeah. And the other shift, when the other attendant comes on, Thelma, she has to do all that work for you. She said, but the patients all love you. But I think maybe you're just not cut out for this type of work.
I don't think I would mind going to hospital, Thelma, if you were singing in the ward, to be honest. I wouldn't
the patients really liked it.
Well, thanks for reaching out to the healthcare workers like that. Just a little nod, but it went a long way. And I just think that virtual stream was a masterclass performance, and just performing and connecting with the crowd, even though there wasn't a crowd there. You still somehow connected through the set, so it worked out really well.
Well, thank you.
No worries.
I think it had that personal touch as well. But did you film it from your home? I think you filmed it.
I filmed some of it in my home, and some of it actually some of it was filmed in the cinematographer in his home as well, in his backyard.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I really wanted to jump into that swimming pool, Thelma.
Wasn't that swimming pool nice? and after we would finish the shoot, he would make us all nice dinner, and we'd sit socially distanced. Of course, it was just me and him. But it was a lot. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much, though, the experience.
Yeah. So how did that come about? Where did the idea come from?
Well, the idea came from, I do a 90-minute show, and it's called My Motown Memories and More. Mm-hmm. And it kind of tells my musical history through the music of Motown, because they were all kind of happening around the same time, except that Motown was in Detroit and I was in Long Beach, California. Right. And although like the Smokey, Diana, Mary, the Supremes, we're pretty much there. Those are my peers. We were probably all around the same age, around the same ages. However, they were already back in Detroit, starting their career, and I'm still was out, trying to figure out,
what to do.
How to even get into a studio. How do you start this thing?
Still singing in the hospital.
Brilliant.
And so that's how it started. And I do this 8-minute medley of Motown songs, which is a part of the virtual show. And in that show, it's just about all the songs that were hits, and it always got such a good response from the audience. That's how the idea started from.
Yeah, brilliant. We have to say to the viewers, guys, you have to check this out, because it really is phenomenal. I'm not just saying that because you're on the show, Thelma. I'm saying that because we really enjoyed it. It was one of my favourite virtual streams, definitely. And
thank you.
I'm a huge fan of the Foo Fighters, the band, the Foo Fighters, and they done a stream, and it didn't even come close to yours, Thelma. I'll say that now. Didn't even come close.
Thank you. Oh my God.
My favourite band is
Woo!
Some praise there. But yeah, guys, if you want to check it out, where can they go to check it out? Thelma, do you want to tell the viewers where they can get involved?
It's on the Thelma Houston. It's on my website.
Right.
and that'll take you right to where to go to see it.
Yep, no worries.
And part of this is also for the Angel Food Project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the website is thelmahouston.com. Is that right?
That's right. thelmahouston.com.
You're involved in a lot of charities. What was it about the Angel Food charity that made you want to support them then, Thelma?
Well, in the early days of the Angel Food Project, it was started to give food, to take food to our friends who had become ill with AIDS, HIV and AIDS at the time. And this was back in the 70s and 80s when we didn't really know what was going on. But we just knew that our friends were dying and they were getting sick. And a lot of times they were being, people were afraid to be around them because nobody knew, what was going on with it. And so that's how the Angel Food Project was started, for that purpose. But then over the years, it has been a source of food source for people that are homebound, our senior citizens, or people who are unable to work. And so it's that. And now, because of COVID, that's another layer that's been added on to how the Angel Food Project is helping. It's something that started for one thing, and it has evolved into doing many other things.
Okay. Something quite close to your heart then.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. No, it's a great cause, great cause to support.
It is a good cause.
Yeah.
And have you been working on music this year as well, like making new music and releasing new music as well? I think you've got some good tracks out.
Yes, well, 2 of the songs in the virtual show are songs that were done. One of them was done during this time period, and that's the one where the rapper, that's my son doing the rap. And
okay.
Yes,
brilliant. He's brilliant. Me and John were just talking about how good he was. We weren't sure who that was.
Yeah, that's my son.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, so he and I and a friend of his, his name is Lethal. We wrote it and produced it and we're doing some other stuff now. But it's a leisurely kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we're working on an EP actually.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're as inspired as ever, Thelma. You're showing us youngsters how it's done. You're kicking ass out there, I think, aren't you? It sounds like you've got a lot of work, a lot of stuff coming, a lot of great positive music. Because there's the other track called "Somebody Standing Outside" that you.
Yes. Now let me tell you about that one. That song was recorded on my very first album, and which was in 1960. 9. But anyway, and so Jimmy Webb wrote it and produced it. You know Jimmy Webb, right? Do you know Jimmy Webb? Okay, yeah. So Jimmy wrote it and he produced it. Wrote all the songs except for one, which was "Jumpin' Jack Flash" by the Rolling Stones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Jimmy insisted that I record that song on the album, which at the time I wasn't a big fan of it, but then I've come to love it. Mm-hmm. But at that time I thought, what is this song about? I was all into, what does it lyrically mean? And what jumping Jack Flash, jumping over what? And what is the meaning of this?
Jack jumping over.
He says, it's just a raw song. Just sing the song. It's raw, like it's raw. I said, okay. Yep. So anyway, we did that. But anyway, he wrote this song, "Someone Is Standing Outside," as a tribute to his father. His father was a minister.
Okay.
And Jimmy, actually, that's how Jimmy got started, by playing the music, playing the piano and the organ in his church and singing in that. And so this was a tribute to his dad. And we felt that those lyrics also apply to today as well. And that is what motivated us to want to re-record it. So Jimmy did the track, which is we did it with the piano track. Yep. So Jimmy did the track in New York. The background singers is a high school group out of Canada. Oh, yeah. I was doing the vocals here in Los Angeles. And so, and the producer of the project was in Nashville, Tennessee.
Right.
So
It's great that the technology
this
lets
is
you do that.
real virtual. Yes, you know. But you know, the other thing about this is that for me, you know, being an old school person, I'm learning a lot. I mean, I'm getting frustrated a lot. Be trying to get these Zooms and rooms and in the room and all that, but it's opening up your mind. You know, we have to be. I tell my friends, my friends, we got to keep up. You got to keep up with. Yeah. You can't just say, "Nah, I'm not gonna." Because I tell you, had it not been for this Zoom, I have a new great grandbaby that was just born in February. Right. Mm-hmm. We went into isolation, being in the house and stuff, in March. So my only way of communicating with them, with my two great grandkids, is on Zoom, and we do it on Sundays. Mm-hmm. And I had to figure out, oh Lord, Zoom. But now I have the Zoom, the ring light, I have the this and the that and all the stuff.
You've got the hat as well.
I got the hat and everything. I'm good to go.
Yeah, you're ready. me and John just live on Zoom now, Thelma. We don't seem to leave Zoom, do we, John?
Yeah, we've seen more each other on Zoom than we ever did before.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, it's just
makes you appreciate everybody a little bit. It's like, oh, because they're there, you know, and you're here, right?
Yeah, this year would have been totally different if we didn't have access to Zoom and all this technology, you know?
It would be really terrible. Yeah. But we're blessed that we have all this information, this new technology now that can, you know, keep us more together, you know.
Yeah, definitely. It keeps it all connected.
More in contact.
It's great that you're still able to work on projects and things as well, and they'll keep pushing forward and letting your creativity flow as well using it.
Yeah, you have to, because you don't know. I mean, even with the vaccine and with these other things, and how when it gets down to who's going to get it and all that, it's still going to be a while, I think, before we're going to be able to go and give concerts, or where people are going to feel, you know, like, yeah, let's go and, you know, and go catch a concert and see Thelma or see whoever. Yep. You know, it's going to be a while. So we might be doing this for a little while.
Yeah. Thelma, see if we're still doing this next year, will you be our third host on the show?
I sure will.
We'll have a great time.
I sure will. Be happy to.
I saw you you recorded the video for your track, Somebody Standing Outside. You done it with the choir as well. Was that all done through Zoom as well? Yeah.
Yes, and they were in Canada. Oh. And each one of them were doing it in their, you know, in their bedroom. Mm-hmm.
Really?
That's amazing.
And my son on our virtual on our number, my son lives in Long Beach, and I live in LA. So he was doing his in Long Beach, and I was here in my house in LA doing it. So I mean, this technology is just, I mean,
I know, it's great.
It's too much.
It wouldn't be right to chat to you, Thelma, without talking about some of your the early days and how you got inspired to take this journey into music. You were talking about gospel. Did it all begin with the kind of gospel choir for you then?
Yeah, it did. It started out, I was in a group called the Art Rental Singers that was a part of our choir at our church. And we were really, really good. And we were invited to a lot of the churches, local churches in our Southern California area. Yep. And we managed to we weren't going around doing auditions or anything like that. But somehow the word got to somebody who actually was working at McDonnell Douglas Aircraft Company.
All right.
Who knew somebody that knew somebody that was a producer. Yep. I kid you not. And that's how we got to end up with the contract at Capitol Records.
Brilliant.
Yes. And that started it. And then from Capitol Records, being with our rental singers, then that's how, and then I got my separate one, and I recorded a song called Baby Mine.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That is, you probably haven't heard of it, but it's still real big in Northern England.
Yeah. Well,
It's Northern Soul, they call it.
Northern Soul, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's a song called "Baby Mine."
Right, now we check it out. Brilliant. I think the gospel beginnings is such a pure kind of joyous style of music. It's really heartfelt, isn't it? You find a lot of people found their talent in there just because for their love of the music, wasn't it?
I think it's that, and also, when you're in my community growing up, if there was a kid who did, I don't know, who was good with singing or who was good with reciting Bible verses or who was good at whatever, they would pick you, immediately put you in front of the church and, and groom you and, and that's how, and so it became a natural kind of thing and so you were given a great opportunity to grow.
Yep.
To grow from knowing how to handle yourself in front of an audience and that. So it's all, and it isn't that they were saying, okay, now this is what you do to do this. It wasn't done from the prospect of you going to be in the entertainment industry. As a matter of fact, unless you were at the church that I grew up in, if you were going to go into the music industry, then you'd best be going in to record some religious music, right? So don't go in and record that, secular music that I was gonna do. But anyway, but that's how it's you built and you're groomed from being very, very young.
It's very powerful music, gospel music as well, and so it really comes from your soul.
Yes, it does, because it's hopeful. It's a way of looking beyond what is going on right now with you, but a way of looking into the future or how things can be. They're always uplifting.
Yep, definitely. I think as well, a lot of the influence that we talk about technology, we're a bit inundated with music and technology, but I think I read somewhere about how important the radio was back then, and I talked to my mum about that a lot and how important the radio was and hearing new music on the radio and accessing music through the radio. Was that a really important part of growing up then?
That's all there was. Was the radio. I mean, with the radio, that's all it was with radio. Even when I first when I started going out, not producing, but recording music and having something released and going out on the road to promote it, it was all about the radio, going to the radio stations to get them to play your music, and going to the mom and pops, the little record shops, which was selling the records. And they would sell the records that were popular on the radio. So the radio was it. That was your only way, that and live entertainment. And so you can imagine that by the time if you were, you're an entertainer and you would start off in January, you're trying to hit all the little towns. So you would be going from January all the way to December by the time you got around to all the little places that you should have been, to get your record, on the radio.
What was that like touring for the first time, so after you kind of got signed and everything, you went out there and started seeing like the whole of the country and things and really kind of spreading the music out. What was that like doing that tour for the first time?
Doing a tour? Let's see. For me, getting a job and working was always exciting. So, and touring, I would tour for about maybe 6 weeks at the most, something like that. That
was enough. That was enough. We get home.
I was, because once I got, before I got into the business, I was married and I had 2 children. So I couldn't be gone away from them for that long. You know what I mean? So I had to schedule my tour around that. I had help.
Family comes first always.
I think you must have had a fire in you, Thelma, just to chase that career as well, because obviously you rode into from gospel to disco. How did that come about? That's quite a change, isn't it? Into the Motown sound and then into the disco sound.
Well, I'll put it like this: the disco sound came as a result of "Don't Leave Me This Way." Was at a time when the disco was being very powerful.
Yeah.
In that the DJs at the clubs were being given music that people felt would play in the clubs.
Yeah.
They were being serviced just like the radio stations.
Yeah.
Right. And so then that's how that came to be. And my the A&R person at Motown at the time that I did Don't Leave Me This Way was Suzanne DePass.
Right.
And Suzanne DePass, the song, I didn't record the song first. It was originally recorded by Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And so she heard the song, and then she thought that it would be very good for a woman to do that song.
Yeah.
So she told me to call me and told me to go listen at it. And I got it and listened to it. And I said, yeah, I like it. I think it's good. Yeah. And so she and Hal Davis, who was responsible for several of the hits for the Jackson 5.
Yeah.
And a lot of other people. Anyway, he did the track, and he produced the track specifically to be a disco song.
Yeah, right.
And so that's how it came about. Yeah,
it's one of those timeless songs as well. Did you know you won the Grammy for that as well? Didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
And let me tell you this little bit of tidbit. I was the first female on the Motown label to receive a Grammy Award.
That's amazing.
Yeah, people don't know that because they think that it probably was gone several other artists, earlier. But no, I was the first female.
I think that deserves a congratulations right now, Thelma, for that one. Can I just say as well, I think that yours was the best version. Me and John will say this right now, Thelma, your version was the best.
Oh, thank you.
Definitely. But we are a bit disco. We do love the disco, to be honest, don't we, John?
Definitely.
Oh, good.
So what do you think made that such a big hit? What's your kind of take on that?
Why do I think?
Yeah. Why would you say that became such a big hit?
Well, excuse me. For one thing, I think the timing can be everything.
Yeah.
When that song was released, it was at the time when the gay community was but was becoming more organized.
Yeah.
And more politically involved.
Yep.
And that song came out and it was played in all the clubs. And I think the fact that the song and what was going on in the community and all of that tended to help to make it what it was. And I think that's also why it's had longevity because of the time that it came out and what it represented to a lot of people.
Had a great music video as well. Did you enjoy making the video for it?
There was a popular show in Europe that was broadcast from Bremen, Germany.
Okay, maybe it was that then.
And I think it was the one where I had a wrap around my head like a turban or something on my head.
Yeah.
No, that was a live performance.
Ah, right, okay.
And what had happened was this show was so popular. And everybody from all over Europe would go there would want to be on the show because I think it was the night that it came on, like a Saturday night or something. There was nothing else on TV, so it was like the best thing, right? Well, I had taken my hairdresser over there with me, right. So before we got there, we had gone to Munich, like maybe the couple of nights before. And he had fell in love.
Oh, no. This is not going to end well, is it, Thelma? This is not.
And he did not show up.
Oh,
so I had to throw that rag around my head. And that rag has been following me since 1977.
Not that you're holding
everybody thinks, oh, that video.
We're sorry we brought it up now, Thelma.
Oh, no. That's fine. That's fine.
We'll edit this out later.
I think it's forgive and forget. I think Thelma is that he fell in love. He was silly and in love. He done a stupid thing. We'll let him away with that one.
Yeah, he got away with it. Yeah.
I think it was the video for I'm Here Again as well. I'm Here Again was done the video for that. And that I'm Here Again, that was a game-changing track, that wasn't it? That changed the game, I think. That's one of my favourite tracks of yours, Thelma.
Oh, you do? You like that one?
Yeah, I'm Here Again. I think it was just something about that just influenced the next generation into the early house music, I think, as well, you know?
Yeah, house. I did a concert last year, and it was called, let me see, what's the name of it? It's out of Chicago, and it's all of these house DJs.
Yeah.
And they go to this celebration. It's like a 3-day thing.
Yeah.
And there was like, I don't know, 40,000. I mean, so many people there. And they wanted me to do that song.
Yeah.
Well, I have not done that song since I recorded it. So I was like, oh no, I says, I don't do that. This is Thelma. You've got to do it. You've got to do it. You've got to do it. And they told me this one part. They said, we just want to just do this one part. And when you do it, just listen to the crowd. So I said, oh God. So I did it. And all I had to do was start it, and the crowd, those 40,000 people did it the rest of the song. It's amazing. And I didn't know that the song was that popular.
Yeah. It was I think there was just something about that song that just sparked a bit of creativity for the new genre of house music. There was something about that, yeah.
Yeah.
But we know that event in Chicago because we had Jesse Saunders on. He was on talking to us before. He was talking about that festival, that exact festival. So we know the one in Chicago, yeah.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So looking back, talking about the Motown stuff as well, Thelma, I know that's probably a hard era to sum up, but what was it like working with some of the people involved with Motown? That must have been exceptional.
Well, what was it like? Okay, before I went to Motown, I had done one album.
Yep.
Solo album. That's the one with Jimmy Webb.
Yeah.
And when I was working with Jimmy wrote all of the songs, and he wrote all of the songs with my vocal ability or whatever in mind.
Yep.
And he wrote it geared to subject matter that I might want to sing about or things that were going on at the time.
Yep.
So it was all around me.
Yeah.
And when we would go into the studio to cut the tracks, he wanted me to go in as well. And I would sing along while the musicians were cutting, while the rhythm section was cutting the tracks. Yeah. And the guys liked it. They liked me being there, singing along and all that. And sometimes we would start off with something, but then I might sing something one way and they might say, oh yeah, we like that. And then they would change it, or they would do something and then I would, you know what I mean? Yeah, so it was that kind of exchange. So that's how I thought all recordings were, right? So I went to Motown and I was, waiting for my schedule of when we could, and it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
They bring in these tracks and say, here, this is for you, this is where somebody did this and somebody cut this for you and somebody did this and blah, 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 blah. So it was a whole nother different thing. Mm-hmm. So the good part of that is that you have to learn to work with everybody at Motown.
Yeah.
Everyone. Because on any given day, if someone, and I'll just make this as an example, it never really happened, but I'm not with me. However, if say someone who was working, I don't know, as a secretary or whatever, came up with a great idea and everyone thought, oh, this is a hit, then that secretary might be the one in the studio producing you.
Wow.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you had to learn how to work with everybody because you never knew where the hit songs were going to be coming from. Yeah. So I learned that.
Yep.
And I also learned how to figure out who was going to be in the studio cutting tracks on me. I got a good relationship with the ladies or the men, whoever was cutting up, making the schedule for the recording studios.
Yeah.
And I got in with them and say, girl, who's going to be recording me this thing? And I would get to that studio, I'd show up, and I'd make sure it was in my key.
Yep.
I said, oh, you guys are here. Oh, I didn't know you were going to be here. What are you doing? Oh, you're cutting a track. Who's this for? Oh, it's for me? Oh.
Brilliant. That's a lesson right there, Thelma, on how to handle business, I think.
That's why you got to do it. You can't, this business is ever changing.
Yeah.
Ever evolving, just like we are now. Now we're Zooming and we're in Chrome, Google Chrome and all those other things, and virtual shows. And you just have to keep moving. You have to, if you want to continue to be in it.
Me and John are brought up with it from our mum and dads. We were brought up at an early age on the Motown stuff and the disco. We're disco babies, aren't we, John? We were brought up on the Motown sound and the disco from our mum and dads in the car on constantly. Listening to you singing in the car, Thelma, when we were younger. So it's kind of ingrained into us over here, I think, isn't it, John?
So it's in your bones, right?
It really is. Well, maybe not as talented as you are, Thelma. We can't really sing, but we can pretend.
But you feel it though. You know that music, though, right?
Yeah.
And people can knock it. I think that unfortunately, what happened is at the height of the disco sound. Yeah. I think it started to become like, okay, anything can be a hit,
okay.
And all we got to do is make it like pss, 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 pss. Get that beat, and then just but that started to make it made the music less. It started to make it I don't know, not good.
Less
and
creative,
that's why
maybe?
I think those DJs, that's why I think people burned all those records in that park.
Yeah.
Again, this happened in Chicago.
Yeah.
I think that's why, because I think that they were angry because of what, and I can, in a way, can kind of see it. Yep. Because it took away, because I think, honestly, I think a lot of good music came out of the disco era.
Yeah.
Because that's why it's still being played. It's still being played now. People still love it. And it has longevity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
the original music's still being played and it's still being sampled as well. A lot of people are sampling and remixing like all the Motown stuff and all the disco stuff. It's still inspiring people to this day.
Yeah, it is.
That's because you guys set the standards so high, Thelma. We were all desperately trying to match that magic that you guys brought to the music back then. We were all desperately trying to get in that and figure out how you guys made such incredible music.
Well, one thing, we didn't have the auto-tune. We didn't have
exactly.
We didn't have all that stuff. We had to, you had to get it. You had to go within your soul, within yourself.
Definitely. I think there's just such a resurgence for the music, such a love for the music, especially in such a young generations now who are really appreciating what was going on back then. So me and John try and get people like yourself on to help tell people about the history of what happened while we're talking to new DJs and new artists and other interviews, and just trying to connect it all together and just explain the history of where it came from and hopefully try and inspire people to keep creating it, So we just try and get a good range of people on to have a chat.
Yes. I think one thing, passion for the music, respect for the music. What I hear a lot, and I don't like it, is a lot of conversation about it's to make the money.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, except when you say it's just to make the money. It's if something is good and you love and you're passionate, I think it's going to draw people or draw those to you that's going to like what you do.
Yep.
And it's gonna do that, make money if it's good. But I think to have that, I don't know, maybe I look at it as a career.
Yeah.
I've been now, it's like 50 years. So I've been doing this, something that I absolutely love doing for that long, and I'm going to continue to do it until I can't do it anymore. Yeah. And it's because I have a genuine love and respect for it.
Yeah.
And I see that. I see a lot of the younger people with that kind of respect and love for it. But then I also see a lot of people that don't have it, the respect. They just want to get from it and not put into it or what it takes. Whose guitar is that? Right there, I'm looking up the wall.
That's
Is that
actually
you?
my dad's. My dad gave me that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my dad's a guitar player, the family.
Oh, okay.
So we were I was trying in lockdown, trying to learn a bit of more instruments and things like that, trying to use the time wisely, basically. There's no way I'm picking it up and going to attempt to play right now, Thelma. Before you ask, I'm not playing that guitar, all right?
Okay, I'm not gonna ask.
Can you sing with us though, Paul? Paul gives a little verse or something.
John, I'll play the guitar if you sing.
Oh no, you don't want to hear that. Let Thelma sing.
No, I think you're right there, Thelma. I think it's just about feeling the music, and if it comes from the soul and you're real, then the rest should hopefully take care of itself. But it's a very competitive game now with the social media, because it moves very fast, doesn't it? And it's difficult to get traction, I think, for a lot of musicians, a lot of artists.
Well, I tell you, it has its good things and its bad things.
Yeah.
I think the good thing about it is that if you have something that's good, and if you know your social media stuff, you don't have to depend on a record company. Yeah. You can put it out if you know how to do that. Yeah. Put it out, and a lot of good artists have come from that, not, and I respect that, because you have other artists. But on the other hand, sometimes when things happen like that, and happen so fast, sometimes artists are not prepared for it. And so they go out on the tours and they're not prepared for, if the audience don't love them right away or give them standing ovation, whatever, they're disappointed. Which also happens a lot with the shows like the America's Got Talent or American Idol or The Voice, or some of those shows. You have all of this attention on you, and you're all of the focus, your star, but then when it's time to go out and to meet the people really, and to do the live show, a lot of times you're not prepared. And what happens is you only get a shot, because everybody's seeing you great on TV, and they want to see you great live. And if you're not great live and you mess up, that's pretty much it for you. You know what I mean? That's your shot. That's it. Nobody's gonna say, "Oh no, did you go see? Oh no, no, didn't like that." No. So you don't. It's sometimes it's a setup to fail. Yeah, definitely. And you don't have the opportunity to build, because it takes, I think it takes time. It takes time. It's knowing yourself, knowing your audience, how to get through the audience. If you know how it takes doing. It takes doing to make it really good at it, I think.
What kind of advice would you give to people that are maybe aspiring to have a career as a singer or as a musician?
What kind of advice would I give them?
Yeah, maybe somebody that's starting out that's kind of got those I guess dreams of being involved in the industry.
Preparation, to be prepared.
Yeah.
And to if you're writing your music, and I do think now people are seemingly more into singer-songwriters. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It seems like they kind of expect you to write your own songs and sing them and perform them. Mm. But that being said, I just think preparation, being prepared, is the key, and have passion for what you do. Yeah. Have passion.
Yeah, I think passion's a big one, isn't it? That's really going to shine through in the performance as well.
You gotta love it, because it might look easy, but it's not the easiest thing in the world to do.
You just make it look easy, Thelma.
It might look easy, but it's not easy.
You're such a positive person as well. You give a lot of positivity out, Thelma, as well. And like I said at the start, you're definitely the ray of sunshine to our dark Scottish night over here. We'll say that. Do you have any advice for people that are going through ending such a difficult year? You know what I mean? It's been a tough year, hasn't it? But there seems to be more light at the end of the tunnel. But have you got any advice for people on how to maybe get through the last of this and look for better times?
Well, what I can say is, like I said, just when I started off. It's been a hellified year.
Yeah.
And but I think that if you get through it, I think it'll make you a better person, a stronger person,
Yep.
a more patient person, and perhaps a better understanding person.
Yep. Definitely.
And appreciative.
Yeah.
And to get through it, for me, sometimes I don't know, not necessarily put on music, but just start singing my favorite songs or dancing around or
Yep.
or reading a book or it's not good to just isolate yourself and sit in the house and think about how terrible it is. That's the worst thing that you can do.
Yeah, definitely.
I've amped my exercise thing. I make sure that I'm a hiker and I hike and I run.
Brilliant.
And I do sometimes boot camp. But I think that's the best thing. Exercising is the very best because it gets those endorphins going, which is a natural hormone that calms you down and smooths the edges out a little bit.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think you get some of your best ideas when you're exercising as well. So it gives you that mental clarity. Sometimes you can just get some really good creative ideas during exercise. Yeah,
you can. I think you can. Mm-hmm. It clears up your head. And but for me, when I'm writing, I like to drive in my car and think about the song and just keep playing the track over. That's how I write.
Okay.
So I'm not really. So when I'm walking and thinking, I'm kind of I don't know. I'm probably thinking about other things, and then I walk in a beautiful place in the mountains. So I'm looking at the things, and I'm looking at the little bunny rabbits one, and I'm trying to.
Well, that must be really inspiring.
It is. It's very nice.
Is there some good hiking over that way then? Yeah.
Yes, very good hiking.
Awesome.
I hike in the Temescal Mountains, Temescal Canyon, out in Pacific Palisades. That's my favorite.
Okay. Yeah, we have quite a lot of different hiking over here as well, but the weather's not as nice. The scenery is beautiful, but the weather's terrible.
No,
I don't think the weather's nice over there for hiking.
Handle -10. If you can handle -10, Thelma, you're doing all right.
Woo,
-10, wind and rain.
Woo, and the rain too. Woo.
You'll just stay in the house. I'll just stay in the house and look at John's happy face. That
I usually wear a hat when I'm doing that.
Brilliant. No, I think it's funny you should say that, Thelma. My mum found a lot of comfort in doing the same thing this summer, getting out, walking, hiking, just getting out. And she hadn't done a lot of it, too much of that before, but she found got a lot from that. Just from not sitting in the house, just get out if you can, and just
if you can. That's the best thing, to get out and just fresh air.
Yep. Definitely.
That's the one thing that they say we can do over here. They don't. They said, and you can go outside. And you can go outside and get some air, and so we can do that. We don't have a restriction on that.
Yeah, me and John can't do that because we turn into a snowman outside. I think if we walked outside.
Oh Lord, I don't know if I could do that over there. Woo!
No, thanks a lot. We won't hang on to you too much longer. There's just one more favor. Can I ask one more favor?
What's that?
Could you wish my mum a Merry Christmas for me? Because I'll be the best son. I'll be her favourite son for a long time. If Thelma Houston could wish my mum Carol a Merry Christmas.
What's your mom? What's her name? Carol?
Carol. Very fitting for Christmas, Carol.
Carol. Okay. Hi, Carol. Merry Christmas, girl. You have a very, very lovely son. You did a great job with him. Okay, now give me that money. How much are you going to give me?
John, cut.
FedEx that over to
you. No, thanks very much. You're such a huge fan, like we are as well. But that will make her Christmas, I think, that will. And I will be the favourite son for a long time.
There you go, see?
No, thanks a lot. It's been an absolute pleasure, Thelma. Thanks for taking the time out to talk to us.
Oh, thank you. I enjoyed it very much. And happy holidays to you all.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks a lot, Thelma. You have a good one.
Okay, and stay safe.
You too. All right, take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.